Hello YouTube and welcome to the Indie Evolution channel. I'm InGamer and today I'm bringing you episode number 10 of our Dead State Let's Play. As I mentioned before in episodes 9, 10, and 11 all had kind of some audio issues. So the commentary you're actually hearing right now is post-production. I had to get rid of all the original audio content, and I'm actually going to be giving you the commentary as I go back and watch the video. Going to try to stay on task with the action on the screen, but I may venture off into a few other topics just to kind of keep things moving. You can see we're looking at the map right here in front of us. When we left off in episode 9, we were leaving the Bison, a quest we had to go there and scavenge. Didn't really find much, so we're going to stop at this church on the way back and see what we can find. I know that the church scene has been fertile ground for a few zombie pictures in the last 30, 40 years, however long they've been making zombie flicks. I guess Frankenstein was the first real popular zombie flick, so I guess we've been making them longer than 40 years. But we'll see what the guys over at Dead State do with this fertile ground here. So without further ado, episode 10, the Dead State Let's Play. And you can see the green icon there right above the house-like structure. That is actually the church where we are headed. And I actually moved there in between videos, so we should be all set. And you can see here is the church building here, and there are a few cars in the parking lot, one of which we should be able to scavenge from. Usually you get fuel from the cars. We found out in an earlier episode we can use that fuel to make Molotov cocktails, which we can use as, I suppose, weapons for ourselves later on. We haven't yet made any, but that will be something we'll get into in future videos. That is one of the few options available, few crafting options available to us in the demo. So we will make sure to get into that. And the key to crafting are those spare parts that we just acquired. Looting those and stocking those at your shelter is really key, at least in these early phases of the game. That seems to be the purpose. Along with food, of course, and water. You're also going to need those supplies to build up your structure and make it self-sustaining. And we enter another standard residence here. For the most part, we see textbook, candles, and thread. Those are just going to be morale boosting items. Very important as well to the game. They try to give everything a little bit of a meaning. There's no, outside of things that are just rotten food and garbage that are, textural. They give the game texture, they give it flavor, to help flesh out the world. Most items in here do have some kind of function, and there are items that have increased function that are, special items that certain characters may want. And found some more items there. I don't know if any of you guys have taken the time. I'm going to start putting links in these videos back to the developer's website, and I do apologize. I'll go back through all the older videos and put those links up for you and for the developer, so that people can connect. I mean, it's obviously just as easy as Googling Dead State, but I think I can make it a little more convenient for people to be able to check out the game. So I will be putting those links up as soon as I get an opportunity. So not a lot going on in that house. Got some decent loot. Didn't run into any entanglements. And we've got a looks like someone drove through the fenced-in area there. So we can make our way over to the black car, see if we can scavenge some fuel. And you can see the Z in this game, they are fairly unaware. And I think they do have a cone forward line of sight. So anywhere directly to their 90, to their side or behind, and they will not see you. And if you don't make any noise or any, have something else unfortunate happen, they're not going to notice you. So you can sneak around them fairly easily. And there really is no advantage to engaging them. You engage them because you have to. Some of them do have some minor loot, but I've never found loot on them that was probably worth even taking one hit. Because your medical supplies, at least thus far in the game, I have found medical supplies to be limited. That might be because of my playstyle. Maybe I'm getting hit too much in combat. And that's what's causing my medical supplies always to be in short supply. But for me, I'm remedying that by avoiding what I feel to be unnecessary combat, because even once the game is released, you're not going to get experience points for combat anyway. So that doesn't appear to be the focus of the game, but from the demo, the game is pretty combat heavy. So I find that to be an interesting, I guess I keep bringing it up over and over again because I find it to be an interesting design choice. That in a game that is so combat heavy, or at least from the demo is combat heavy, there really are no rewards for combat. It just becomes kind of a necessary evil. Enjoyable, but a necessary evil. And we'll see what's waiting for us through this door here. These narrow hallways are perfect for fighting Zed. Because they will walk single file right into that hallway and allow you to fight them one-on-one. Even if there are 5 or 6 of them, they will just line up right there. And that's pretty consistent with what zombies are supposed to be in a game. They're not intelligent. They're coming at you in a slow, shambling style, looking for you as a source of food. And not much else. So that's one thing this game did get right. I feel like it got right. Was the mood. I think the world that you play in this game has texture. I don't think it's a flat two-dimensional world. I don't mean that in a sense of graphics. I mean that in a sense of I can see it in final release having an appropriate amount of depth for a new wasteland. This world hasn't been a wasteland for hundreds of years. This isn't a post-apocalyptic world in the sense of nuclear fallout like in the game Wasteland or in the game Fallout. This is 2 weeks ago, a disease took hold of the population, and now this is where we're at. And I think here I made the decision actually to move over to the more open area, so that when the zombies walk in, I can just surround them and basically attack them from all sides to dispatch them as quickly as possible. So my initial tactic, I kind of committed to that briefly, and then kind of saw that there was a much better way of going about this. I do want to mention while I'm here and while I'm setting up this combat situation and she's bashing that door open, that I do have plans to do other Let's Plays in the future, and I will be bringing you guys videos introducing you to some of those games and getting your feedback on what you guys might want to see from me going forward. The single save on this game is kind of a hindrance to the Let's Play. I'm going to keep it moving forward, but that, I can probably see a lot faster progress with another title. And this Let's Play that I'm doing for this game, consider this the alpha Let's Play. When there are significant changes to Dead State, which there will be throughout the production process, they just push back the release date to summer of 2014, and that is going back. It was supposed to be released, I believe, end of March. So now they're going back probably to a June, as late as August release date. So this game is probably going to see some significant changes in that time period. So this Let's Play of Dead State will probably not be the final one. There will probably be I'm assuming around March, April, they will have more content, bigger, better, closer to the end, and I will probably go through and you will probably see a Let's Play of the game again in that stage. And then, of course, on final release, you will probably get I don't know if I'll do another full Let's Play on final release. It just depends on how significantly different. A lot of time from beta to final release, the game does not undergo significant changes. A lot of the time from there, it's really just polish. Obviously, from here to release, you're going to have significant story elements. The game is going to go on for longer than 7 days. These kinds of things. There'll be significant changes. But from beta to release, there may not be significant changes, and at that point, I would probably do a final review of Dead State, just to give you guys a wrap up. So I'm hoping to be able to kind of follow a little bit of the production process that's going on with this game, because I think that's something that's interesting, and I think it's something that a lot of gamers are kind of interested in. Like, how do these things develop as they go? And you can see here's kind of my tactic here. I open that door, I let him into the parlor, so to speak, and then we basically just pound him into dust, if we can. I get people on every side of him. I get my character with his two-handed weapon, which is Joel. This is important to note, that two-handed weapons allow you to attack from a square diagonal or catty corner, if you prefer. So as players with one-handed weapons can only attack from the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, west, front, back, left, right. Players with two-handed weapons will have the unique ability to attack from those corner squares. So one player with a two-handed weapon forming that 90-degree angle with two players with one-handed weapons creates an ability for you to attack from 3 sides on one enemy. And of course, the narrowness of the doorway prevents any other zombies from coming in. So this gives us probably our greatest advantage against our opponent here. And there's a big swing with that axe. I did notice in the inventory screen, and I don't know if this is wear and tear on that item um, the axe, but in the inventory screen it lists that as, I believe, 20 to 30 damage, somewhere around there. But if you look in the attack screen, when Joel's turn comes back around, it's actually a 10 to 18 damage, which makes it a lower damage weapon than even the small one-handed weapons. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch, I'm not sure if that's a bug, or if that is actually what we're seeing is an item that's undergone some wear and tear. And pack of cigarettes for the survivors. Help keep their nerves calm. Anyone under 18 listening, please scratch that. Cigarettes actually are a stimulant. The nicotine is a stimulant. It doesn't calm your nerves. It makes you agitated. And then it kills you. So don't don't smoke cigarettes like the people in Dead State. You know, their world is over. You've got your whole life ahead of you. But this is pretty much the tactic here, is to, you know, have them, to draw them in one at a time, and then to attack. And I usually leave Renee out of the conflict, somewhere safe, so that she doesn't become harmed. But as far as future Let's Plays, guys, I've got a couple of ideas, like I said before, and quite a few of them are indie games. I mean, that's really where I like to focus this channel. It's not the only thing I'm going to do here, but that is going to be kind of my focus. Two of the other games that I'm considering are also turn-based RPG strategy hybrids, similar to, I'm not going to say they're similar to Dead State. They're similar to Dead State in genre alone. Outside of that, you'll find very little in common. But we'll start with the most similar to Dead State is Age of Decadence. I already have a Let's Play started on the channel for Age of Decadence. It's not made by the same people that made, I keep getting this somewhat confused. It's not made by the same people who made Dead State. The stories come from two different groups. The development is two different groups. The engine for the game is the same engine. So graphics are going to be similar. Gameplay and mechanics not necessarily similar. But Age of Decadence is probably the most similar to this game that I would do. I've already started one. I would start a new Let's Play for that in the event that was something you guys wanted to see. It's gotten about 5,000 views, so I think that it's, you know, at the very least has some popularity, or at least Age of Decadence as a game has some popularity. It takes place in a low magic environment in a post-apocalyptic world that is based on the fall of the Roman Empire. Essentially, it's the fall of the Roman Empire, and the people in this area think the world is coming to an end. That's the gist of it, as far as I understand it. As we swap some items around here, and you can see this. Sorry about that sidebar. You can see that this area is pretty congested with Zed, and we're just trying to move our way through here, collect what we can. I'm not leaving until I get everything. You know, there could be valuable items in those bags, so we're going to have to deal with what we're going to have to deal with to get the items that I have a feeling that we're going to need. That's another awkward thing when initiating combat, when the computer initiates combat, it's always that, uh-oh, it actually caught me there. Always that walk away, then walk back. It doesn't seem to cost the computer any action points either. Either that or the computer has determined its move and is walking off the excess action points. And I don't know why it would just do that when initiating combat. But it's definitely doing something kind of odd there. You can see here Joel is badly wounded, but we had to go send him out there to draw her in. Joel is my initial plan was to fight at range with the Zeds, and since Joel is our best range character, that's why I sent him out. An alternate strategy to that would have been to send out Renee. While she is not a good combatant, has the highest perception skill, which may have allowed her to get the drop on the Zed instead of having the Zed take the first initiative. That would have been an alternate strategy. So you can see kind of the trade-off there would have been sending out someone who has a few fewer hit points, not as capable of defending themselves in combat, but, you know, might have that ability to get in and get out and allow us to step in and spring the trap. You can see here we're going with Flurry has become one of my favorite attacks, really. It gives you an extra attack in the sequence. It gives you an extra attack in the sequence, but all of those attacks will take place under 1 to hit roll. So there is a trade-off. It's a risk versus reward kind of attack, and it generally is worth it, particularly if you can get, you know, that high to hit percentage right at the beginning of the round.